Greetings. Welcome to the third session on 2 Thessalonians. I think that this passage is all about the nature of good and evil and how it all ends up. Basically, there's we start off with the world as we know it at the moment, where there is a mixture of both good and evil developing all over the place. And Jesus' teaching in the parable of the wheat and the tares is that if you try and pull the evil out, uh, it's impossible because it's too intertwined with where the wheat is. And therefore, um, distinguishing what is pure goodness, what is pure evil, is very difficult because there's an awful lot of mixture going on. However, we do have an inkling of what the kingdom of heaven looks like, what goodness looks like. I've jotted down 12 things that are natures of the kingdom of heaven on this day, which is just after the elections. I find it amazing that I think something like 10 minutes after the elections were announced in City Hall, that they were up on the website, and I believe that nobody's contesting them to say that it was rigged or that somebody's miscounted the votes. I think that there is something truthful going on there. I think it's amazing in terms of love that 1,000 people go to the operating theatre in order to donate an organ to another human being every year in the UK. I find it amazing in terms of generosity that globally 64% of people give money at least monthly. Um, I never ceases to amaze me how music can touch me, and actually art also. Trust, when eBay came out, some people thought, oh no, people will say that they're selling one thing and then send you a different thing. And actually, I and others were astounded that people send you what they say they're going to send you. Trust is, that's a kingdom of God thing. It's marvelous. 1 in 6 people volunteer at least monthly in the UK. Life expectancy in the world has gone up from 32 in 1900 when my grandfather was born to 73. Amazing. I think it's amazing in terms of forgiveness that Timpsons employ 50% of their employees, I believe, are ex-prisoners. I think it's amazing that in this country, 50% of people trust the police and think they're good. Now, obviously, when I say wheat and tares, there's a mixture. And in one sense, that's a bad statistic. But I think there's something good there. I think that people have children. That's a sign of hope. I think that if you go into a hospice, there's a sense of peace there. And I think that the fact that grandparents find joy in grandchildren is, anyway, signs of the kingdom. But there's signs of something else going on. The love of money and the love of power leads to some dreadful stuff in the world. God is telling you to kill people. It's dreadful. It's bad religion. The numbers, by the way, refer to the Ten Commandments. Exploitation of people and the environment goes on. We don't get rest. Pride. Either seems to me that there's a view of the political parties is that one of the things that the Conservative Party used to stand for is that they would conserve what is good. And it seems to me that Reform have basically said, nah, we don't want to conserve what's good, we'll just change everything. I could be wrong on that one. There's an awful lot of abuse in the world, there's an awful lot of individualism. I think that there's an awful lot of theft, awful lot of lies, and an awful lot of addiction of people wanting the wrong things. I think that there's a strand in the Bible that says that when people say, but particularly when the right-hand column ceases to dominate, it says, when is this going to end? How's this all going to end? And that two things will happen at the end. First of all, on the right-hand side, and this is what happens first, is we will see evil for what it really is. we will see the lawless man come up, who is a personification of all that is wrong. But also we will see goodness for who he really is. We will see Jesus. In terms of when this will happen, for the last 2,000 years, people have said, "Oh, things aren't as bad as as they are now. I'm sure the end is now because things can't be as bad as they are now." And I just think that we need a bit of perspective on this one. Is that if you're an Aboriginal in Australia, 90% of your population was wiped out by some colonials coming in from the UK. I've given that example. There are examples around the world. I think Spanish in South America, and then but anyway, I just thought I just don't want evil to be something that they do. I think that our hands are blooded. Holocaust, 66% of European Jews killed. Pol Pot, 25% of his own countrymen. Genghis Khan, they reckon that 11% of the world's population died because of him. Mao Zedong, about 10% of Chinese died. Stalin, about 10% of people in the Soviet Union died because of his policies. These are rough estimates. But when you look at, I don't know, people are saying Trump is bad. Well, actually, is the end nigh? I possibly think not. But Jesus tells me is we will not know. We will not know. So just have a bit of perspective. So 2 Thessalonians says that we will see evil for what it is. We will see Jesus for what it is. And Jesus will destroy lawlessness. And there are implications for us and for all human beings. It's the extent to which we are invested in the right-hand column. If we actually really like having money, if we really like having power over other people, if we have come to enjoy untruths, if we've come to enjoy being really proud and being individuals, there will come a moment where that is over, but that will not exist. And it's a bit like somebody who works and works and works and works and then retires. Sometimes they don't know who they are. There's an awful lot of them has just gone. And it says in 2 Thessalonians and other places in the Bible that the wicked will be destroyed. And to some extent, I think that this isn't vindictive God. I think that, well, how else do you describe what happens to somebody who's invested in the right column, who that's their whole world, that's their whole life, that's their whole character? So there just isn't any room in the kingdom of God for those things. Now, all people, I believe, are welcome in the kingdom of God, but wickedness isn't. And that part of us that is inextricably linked to wickedness will cease to exist. That would be what I think's going on. In the meantime, therefore, it is really quite important, both for now and also for eternity, that we invest in the left-hand column, that we love Jesus and the things of Jesus, and that we grow and develop and mature in those things. Because if we delight in delusions, which is all that wickedness is, now ephemeral is overdoing it, because ephemeral just means that it's here for just one day, but it's temporary, and it will go. So anyway, that's summary of what I think is going on into Thessalonians chapter 2, and you can read it together. And I would just pray that you would be blessed in avoiding delighting in delusions and that you would love the eternal truth. God bless you.